Right. What's up, traders? Happy Wednesday. Welcome. So let's just get right into it. We'll see you in the chat. For those that are watching for the first time, my name is James Bruce. I'm one of the day traders here at ASFX. I've been in the markets for over 6 years now, in my 7th year. So I've had some longs on the NASDAQ. My pre-market plan, as mentioned in my pre-market plan live on Twitter there with Edgeful, was to be buying dips today. I've made some money on the NASDAQ. Buying here into the open, catching some of this move here. Let's just actually bring up my charts over. This is my TradeZilla trading journal. You can actually check it via the link in my bio. But yeah, I'm up 393. So $400 on the day so far buying the NASDAQ. But as you can see, as per my pre-trading plan, NASDAQ, I'm looking to buy dips, and same as SPX today. So we were looking pretty bullish. I did like the NASDAQ over SPX today for the longs. Right, let's see who's in the chat here. What's up, Michael, Jimmy, Erkan, Roy, Johan, Amos, peace, brother, peace. Okay, cool. So we got everyone here in the live. Everything seems to be working all good. So we're going to see if we can catch any more trades here, maybe off the opening range low. We obviously do have the initial balance set in. So this is a stat bar. If we look at Edgeful statistics, and I did mention this in my pre-market plan, but basically, the initial balance sets the high and low from the first hour. And on the NASDAQ, 74% of the time, we only have a single break, meaning that we tend to stay in the direction that we are after the first break of that initial high and low, right? We got DY over from Hydra Funding. I do want to go over the competition that we have. So for those that are watching, I am streaming live to YouTube, Twitter, and ASFX TV today. For those that are watching on Twitter and YouTube, every single week, we have our trade live here on ASFX TV, along with Austin, Evan, Tom, and a few other traders as well for $10 a month. So the link is in my bio, ASFX TV. So I'm going to look at this initial balance breakout to see if we can continue looking for longs, or are we going to come down today? Pretty interesting here, actually, after the massive talks of a bear market, we actually have almost erased that. So this is the 2-minute time frame. So let's just go back to the NASDAQ 2-minute time frame. Let's go out back to the 50-minute time frame. We actually have almost erased the Monday's drop off. We're back almost to Friday's closing price, which is here at 18,380. We're back at 18,361 as we speak at the moment, and we did get back up to 18,455. So we've basically erased that Monday drop off after a massive sell-off on the NASDAQ and obviously indexes and stocks across the board. Something interesting to have a look at is these white lines coming across my screen here is yesterday's high and yesterday's low. And that's another report that we do have with Edgeful that we do have over here is called the previous day's range report on the NASDAQ in the last 5 years, right? On a Wednesday, when we do take out the previous day's highs, let's have a look. What is that report going to give us? So I always wait for it to load. 81% of the time on a Wednesday. In the last 5 years, if we take our previous day's high, we close as a bullish day. So that's one of my favorite ones. The previous day's range with Edgeful. I think there's so many reports here and so many different ways to trade. You have to find what works for you, right? But basically, previous day's range, previous day's range, initial balance breakout, and the opening range breakout as well, right? So those are a couple of my favorites. So, and I'm going to continue looking for longs. So we are at this 21 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. We're in an upshift. 8 is above the 21. So I'm going to continue looking for longs here as we speak at the minute. But yeah, let's go back to my time frame here. Something that I like using for my bias recently has been VWAP. I've loved using yesterday's VWAP, which is this blue VWAP, into the black VWAP as well, which is the intraday VWAP from today. What's up, App? Good to have you on, brother. Nick. Yep. Good to have everyone on here today. Cool. So let's asking, did you win the trading battle yesterday? How did you like the show? I love the show. I love being on. So you can actually go rewatch that. I was live with the trading battle yesterday on Twitter and their YouTube. But no, my positions are not doing too great. I actually... some of them I was forced into it, but I did short the DAX, which were obviously up quite heavily. Indexes have been rebounding. And then I did try and short GJ. obviously with the yen strength, but not working out too great. We're up 1.84% on GJ today, so taking a little bit of a beating there. So no, not winning. That is for sure. Well, at least I'm not up. I don't know what the other guy. He didn't actually take any trades live on stream, but it was all good. Nice to do that for charity, but not really my style of trading. I prefer to be in and out of the markets, which we are looking at on an intraday basis with the indexes, which I prefer. But you can go rewatch that here on Twitter. If you go have a look, here's my Twitter. Yeah, you can actually go rewatch that over there. You can actually go rewatch my pre-market plan from today. As you can see, I streamed that an hour ago, and I do that every single day on Twitter. And then you can actually go and look at it over here where I went live. Where was it? Last night over there. Yep, perfect. So there was it there. I went live with the guys, so you can go rewatch that there. I'll put that here. But yeah, anything that you guys want me to cover on today's stream? What's up, Andrew? Good to have you on, boss man. Good to have you on, dude. Yeah, so flat at the moment. We're going to see if we can continue to get some long positions over here, guys. Cool. So we're going to get DY as well on from Hydro Funding. We will get him on in a moment. I just want to continue going over anything that you guys would like me to cover. I saw Austin was trying to short SPX, which is actually coming down right now towards the opening range low. But yeah, good to have you on, Patrick. For that Edgefield stack closing bullish, that meaning closing above previous day's high or above daily open price? Above daily open price, Patrick. But I can bring up, they have an added stat in there, closing above previous day's high as well. So we can over here, they've got it over here by outside close. So in the last 5 years, by outside close on a Wednesday, once we take our previous day's high on the NASDAQ, 64% of the time we actually close above the previous day's high. So you can look at it as both things, Patrick. You can look at it from just closing above daily open price as a bullish closure, or you can look at it closing by outside close, which is actually looking at it closing above the previous day's high, if that makes sense. Let me know if that's all good. What's up, Justin? Good to have you on again. Do you know who your opponent will be beforehand, or the shows are random? No, I did know who he was going to be. He was that. I think he owns Maven Trading, or that one of the prop firms. So, yeah, chilled. I love doing things for charity. Whether we win or lose doesn't really matter. I love getting on shows, and if it's going to benefit charities, I'm all good for that. So. Let's have a look at it. We're chopping around a bit. We are holding opening range low, but I'm going to be careful of just buying over here. I think we could get extensions maybe over here, and then down to 18,300, and then we can look for longs like that. So we'll see. If not, I like using the 21 EMA for entries and exits. We can look to hop in there as well. Yeah, before going long, are you looking for opening range low to break? Yes, I definitely think we can get a break here of the opening range low to the downside, and then I'll look for long in extensions. But I'm really up on the day from, let's just bring up my entries over here. From my longs here into the open, right? I was in at about just before the open, a couple of minutes before the open. So we will continue to see if I can get longs. As I said, my plan for the day was to look for continued longs, right? So yeah, buying dips. That was my plan today, right? What is gold doing? Gold's up 0.5% today, so that looks pretty good. Making that gold looks actually good for longs here off this opening range low. I don't really trade gold too much myself, but that looks good for longs. Again, Nvidia and Tesla. The Tesla is actually the only stock that's down on the day. I did actually purchase some more Meta as you're down off that off the lows there, but yeah, we are rebounding on the stock side of things. So we are at opening range low as we speak at the moment. So we'll see if we can get some longs here. We will wait and see. I definitely, now that I'm up on the day, I will play defensive until we start to see a little bit more of a trend. But this is a nice buying opportunity here. We've taken our previous day's highs. Right, we've taken our previous day's highs, and I'm going to continue looking for longs in extension here. So I'm just waiting and seeing. Let's see if we can get DY on in a bit. We will chat about the private competition, and speak about that, right? As mentioned, we do have a private competition with regards to Hydra funding, and it's only for ASFX members only, which I'm going to be taking part in, right? You can buy any account size over here, and you have the opportunity to be involved in a competition only for ASFX members that purchase with the ASFX code, right? So purchase any account size, and you'll be eligible to join a private trading competition where the first place prize gets a 50K one phase challenge, and the second place prize gets a 25K 1K challenge. But we will get that in a bit. Any time before the 11th of August. So I will actually put that in. The chat over here for those, and I do accept US clients too. So those that want to trade CFDs from America, you can as well. Cool. So we're going to continue looking for longs over here, guys, on the NASDAQ, but I'm not too keen on it where we're sitting at the moment. I'd like to see a little bit of a change in strength. As we can see, we're still not breaking that half-day VWAP. Would you look for bottom of the range trade longs here on SPX if you can get above this 21? Nice. Let's see what your charts look like. Amos, much better, dude. This looks much more clean. So Amos is one of the guys in the Black Shirt Club that we've been working on hard on with. Just making things a lot more simple. Your charts look a lot more simple and clean here, brother. Looking really, really good. Patrick says we'll have to test a test of daily anchored view up before opening range to go long. Yep, agreed. I would see a little bit more of a dip on the NASDAQ before wanting to go longs here as well. I don't. And also over here on SPX, this would be middle of the range trade. Remember, this is going to be different pricing for you guys, but this is going to be middle of the range. It's different pricing, but same candles, right? Same charts. It's just a different pricing. It's just the CFD version. Cool. So if you got any questions, let me know. Guys on Twitter, guys watching on YouTube, let me know. And we can answer any questions that you do have. We're getting a little bit of a bounce here. Maybe you can put a small risk on here and play towards the highs. That would be pretty nice. So we'll continue to watch this. But I definitely do like the longs today, especially after the bullish open. We basically, if you're looking at a pure market structure point of view, we basically have this break of this level and now looking to retest. Very, very simple, right? Call it whatever you want. It's a break and retest of this level, particularly yesterday's highs as well. Cool. I'm actually going to put a little piece of longs over here on the NASDAQ. We'll see if we can get a little bit of a move higher. So let's put on some longs on the NASDAQ, right? Okay, we've got some longs now on the NASDAQ. Let's see if we can get a push here higher. So gone in at a bit of a higher price than I wanted to, but let's see if we can get the highs here. So I got about a 70, 80 point stop. Let's see if we can get opening range high on the NASDAQ. So I'm going to take this long position here on the NASDAQ. We've just got in here at the minute. So let's see what can happen from this trade. Definitely, this would be an opening range low of trade towards the high 2-minute time frame, right? Cool. Really moving quite nicely. This is the thing I like about the indexes. When you pick your spot pretty nicely, you can get really, really some solid moves on it, right? That I do enjoy. When you pick your spots really, really well, you do get rewarded for it. SPX looks like we're moving as well. Again, looking really, really bullish. So the longs are definitely looking like it's the play today at the minute. This would definitely be a nice break and retest. So let's have a look at the 1-minute chart here on the SPX. Yep, 5-minute chart looking good. So I'm working the longs again here. We'll see if it can get opening range high. Anyone long with me? Anyone long with me as we speak at the moment? So working the longs again, you're already up 35 points. Anyone else long with me at the moment? Nice. Okay, we've got some guys long ES as well. Okay, good. I'm working the longs here again. Nice, nice. Cool. Well, look, if we get opening range hard, that's where I will look to take some off there, guys. Okay, I'm going to take some off here. I'm going to cover here right at opening range high. Nice little win. Let's get W's in the chat. So I'm going to cover here, 70% of my position at the opening range high. We should have guys making money on ES2. We're moving higher too, but we're going to cover here 70% at the highs over here. So that looks good. Nice. Cool. Cool. So we've covered yet the highs. That's pretty nice. Nice trading from the simple opening range low trade to the opening range high, right? So a really, really simple trade as mentioned over here, right? So yeah, simple. That was a pretty simple trade, simple read. Yeah, nice. Still up on the day quite handsomely. So that's a good trading. Cool. Let's get DY on and we can chat markets as well as our Hydra competition. So let's get him on here. Let's get him on in the background. Let's send an invite. Let's copy him in. Cool. Yeah, nice. Get some W's in the chat. That was a nice one. That was a nice trade. Just had one contract, so got out completely. Nice, Todd. Good work. Strong work. Yeah, good work, Nick. Just in my profit target as well. Great work. Nick hitting his profit target. 6.1 on momentum through half there. Anchored view up New York, anchored view up on ES, just 3 minutes. No drawdown, already got out. Brilliant work. Sometimes, again, it's about making money. It's not about trying to catch a massive move. It's about just, getting green on the day. And those small wins add up with big, you get. Look at Mark. He had like one of the guys in our Black Shirt Club. If you go watch the video on YouTube, but he had like 20, 50K accounts. Once you got big capital behind you, you don't need to be trading, a lot. You just need to get green on the day and let the big capital do get the capital do the heavy lifting. Cool. As we wait for DY to come on. But yeah, that was a nice trade, guys. Nice trade to Let's see if he is going to come on. But nice trade to start out the stream. I think we had some nice plays on NVIDIA and Apple last week, Friday. For those that were watching, go get some content and go actually rewatch it. This is the beautiful thing for those watching on Twitter and YouTube. You can rewatch our stream. So if I bring this up here, you can actually go rewatch our stream. So if you can't make it live at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, you can actually go and rewatch our streams. As you can see, it's showing that I'm live over here. And we got the upcoming. You can even look at the calendar and everything like that. But go rewatch. Look at all of these streams here. Winning trades, losing trades. We share it all. Go and watch them. Go rewatch them, right? I definitely think something that I have found with my own trading is if I'm not actually calling my trades out live, and this is why I think the Black Shirt Club and being part of a team and community like this is if I'm not actually calling my trades out live, I'm in this trade or I just pulled for a profit or loss, whatever it is, I shouldn't be in those trades. I think a lot of traders, because they lack accountability, they lack, they just don't, they don't get better because they're just not accountable. So I'm actually make a note of that in my daily report card from today. Right. Okay. So you can put your first trade. And this is TradeZilla. You can use the link in my bio to have a look at your second trade. Right. But go have a look and end of day evaluation. So we'll check that out over here. But not that. So when I call out my trades, when I get in and out, I follow my plan. All right. Great. This creates accountability, right? Accountability. And I think, does anyone else understand what I'm actually saying? Right. So calling out your trades, when you should be in and out, when, creates a sense of accountability. When you call your trades out actually live and say, listen, I'm in this trade and then I'm out this trade, or whatever it is, it creates a sense of accountability. So just a heads up with regards to that. Yeah, I haven't had a look at some of the currencies in a while. Let's have a look at some of the currencies and what they actually are doing. Well, this is really, really choppy. Okay, we had a sell-off here this morning, but let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Okay, obviously, okay, wow, coming back down, rotating back down. Let's have a look at AU. Yeah, let's have a look at GCAD. Yeah, GCAD coming down pretty heavily. Look at that. Wow, GK coming down really, really heavily at the moment. I mean, that's down 200 points since yesterday. That was an easy shorting position over there. Wow, sometimes the currencies do tend to trend quite nicely. I know, just having a look at some of the things that you guys are watching. Okay, cool. Go back to the indexes. DAX is moving up. I did like the DAX today, so let's go back to the 5-minute time frame. Yeah. Let's put in our yesterday's view app there. So definitely trading above previous day's view app. But yeah, looking really, really solid. Since we're looking at currency pairs, yeah, Josh, 100%. Let's see what you're looking at, bro. Let's see what you're looking at. So we got, okay, DY's on the back. It's not the link's not coming up, Josh, but we got DY in the background. Okay, cool. Let's get DY on, and then we can chat. Yo, what's up, bro?
What is going on?
Sorry, I was going off on a tangent there. I forgot that you're waiting in the background.
You're all good, bro.
We had a winning trade on the Nasdaq, US 100 Nasdaq today, trading from the opening range low to opening range high. So a couple of guys got along with me. But other than that, been a pretty crazy week to the market. So we had a massive sell-off on the Monday, and now we're almost back at the price where Friday's closing price was, right?
Yeah, and let's talk about what happened with Bitcoin and
that
massive sell-off down to what, 48,000?
48K. Yep. I mean, now we're back down.
Altcoins are absolutely slaughtered, destroyed.
Yeah.
It's a lot of blood in the
Yeah.
crypto
I
markets
mean,
right now.
Bitcoin fell off down to 40, just, I got my chart here, 49K, and now we're back up to 56. So, I mean, this week, just from Monday, we're already back up, 12%. That's a pretty
the
big
volatility
rise.
has been absolutely insane. Like I pretty much sold all of my crypto back like about a month ago. I think almost a month ago now. And seeing that dump, like you're just so happy that you just sold you sold everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's a massive sell-off. I mean, particularly as you mentioned with the altcoins. We got some of the guys here. Okay, Josh, having a look at the EJ. I know you have a look at EJ. Have you had any trades today yourself, Diwa? What are you looking at?
Intraday pretty choppy today on the currencies. Not loving what I'm seeing on the charts at the moment. So no trades for me just yet. I've actually been doing a bunch of back testing today
Okay.
because I do want to. You've inspired me, bro. You swing trading stocks and stuff like has really like got me thinking like, hey, I kind of want to do that as well. And
Yeah.
I'm just currently back testing just like a pretty brain dead strategy I can use to just
Sure.
swing trade higher time frames on stocks and maybe follow some trends. So yeah, that's kind of like if I have no trades and I got to be on the charts, I just start to do some back testing, collect some data, and see if I can get like this higher time frame system working and start following some swing longs on the stock side or even on the indices because
Yeah.
they tend to trend quite nicely and they can really give you some runners. So potentially a way for myself to get involved on some higher time frames. Just testing some new stuff out.
100%. So this actually, Josh, one of the guys here on stream, he actually had this EJ trade. This looks similar to how you traded. We get kind of like a pullback. This is a 5-minute time frame. Kind of get like a pullback and then look for entries, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah, Josh, I like that, bro. Okay, cool. So we got a couple of updates with regards to. So we had a nice trade here on stream again. Let's just go back to my chart here on the Nasdaq. We'll maybe continue looking for longs, but we are at half day here, so I have covered 70%, and I've got the rest locked at break even. So yeah, I like. This is the thing about traders. I like how we feed off each other. Like I've said, I'm looking at stocks, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go back test like a system, just a trend, breakout system, and look to do because that's. I think if I'm trading the indexes, mine will just look at swing trading some stocks. I bought Apple, Meta, and Tesla and Nvidia now on that dip on after Monday, literally as the market opened, I bought some in for my long-term portfolio. So
and what time frame do you look at for like your long-term portfolio?
Yeah. Hourly chart and the daily chart. That's what I'm looking on my long-term. But I do like the hourly chart, but I also do have a look at the daily as well. But mostly I do like the hourly chart. That's what I'm looking at. And looking for values of interest. If we pull back, like Tesla pulled back to like 180, where I had actually bought it about 3 months ago and got a ride. It went from 180 or so to about 240. I got not all of it. I got about up to 220. So I was like, hey, it's back at the price where I bought it 3 months ago, and it's like 50% of all-time highs. I like that. So I bought it again with my longer-term portfolio. But yeah, from an intraday perspective, just had the Nasdaq trade today. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get more longs here. But I think again, we've had a massive rise and rally off Monday's lows. So don't be expecting massive rippers today, guys. Particularly, obviously, we do have rate cuts possibly coming next month in September. And also, August 28th, we do have the NVIDIA print, right? NVIDIA earnings as well. Okay, so let's maybe
it'll be
speak
interesting
about
to see what happens with NVIDIA because, it's been on a bit of a pullback. Obviously, on weekly, monthly charts, it's been on an absolute parabolic tear. Right. But, anytime you see a chart kind of like exploding up as much as something has, things don't just go up in a parabolic fashion and just keep going. Like at some point, you're going to see a massive pullback, which it kind of looks like it already has. And potentially, you could see sideways action for a while as well. Like it doesn't always have to be up or down massively, right? Like the market goes through periods of volatility expansion and contraction, right? It's not just always expand, like more and more volatile. It goes through sideways periods. So volatility can definitely contract on certain charts. And, you know, after I see massive moves, massive parabolic moves like this, a lot of times, like things can go quiet for a little while. Like that's kind of what I'm expecting on the Nvidia side. Is potentially it looks like it wants to just sit down and go sideways back and forth for a little bit.
Yep. 100%. I definitely think there has to be some form of rebalance, but it's going to be interesting. Do Nvidia continue moving high? I mean, you know, I've actually heard some crazy things with Nvidia where their stock options, the worker stock options, are worth like $10 million, where they're just like, dude, I'm retiring. I don't need to carry on working. So it's going to be interesting. But let's speak some Hydra funding updates here. We got a good number on stream here today. So let's speak some Hydra funding updates. We're streaming live on Twitter, YouTube, and across to ASFX TV, of course, as well. But for those that are watching for the first time, maybe give it a brief introduction to yourself, TY, and Hydra Funding as a company.
Yeah, so for those of you guys that are seeing me for the first time, hello. I am the founder of Hydra Funding together with my partner Cameron Foose, and we've been operating Hydra since October of 2022. So it's coming up on 2 years now, and it's been a very, very cool ride, very cool journey. Obviously, you know, we know that the space has gone through some volatility of its own. And yeah, I feel like, you know, having been through that period, we're at a place now where we're very, very confident in our back end systems and the way how we manage risk in you know, in our operations and our risk team. You know, just it almost feels like we've been battle tested, right? Like we've gone through so much turbulence in the industry. We've gone through, you know, MetaTrader pulling out, like just all these kinds of like bad negative headlines in the industry. And, you know, we've been chugging along the whole way, paying our traders out, like continuing business as usual. And that really gives me a lot of confidence in the fact that, you know, we from the start have done things the right way, and we prioritize the right things, which, you know, I've said on previous streams, it wasn't always easy to be prioritizing the things that we were prioritizing while this big race to the bottom was going on, crazy deals, you know, people trying to undercut each other, like, you know. But yeah, I feel like, honestly, I feel like the prop space is starting to, let's say, solidify. I think the players that have stuck around, you know, for a while are starting to get more recognition. I think some of the dust from all the collapses is starting to settle. At least that's kind of the sentiment or the feel that I get, right? Like we had this a period of craziness for quite a while. And yeah, we're very excited to continue growing and developing our business. We just recently brought back MetaTrader 4 and 5 to you know, for our traders. Unfortunately, only for the non-US traders, but for the US traders, we do have MatchTrader and DXTrade available for you guys. You know, as far as MetaTrader, you know, we were able to bring that back. I want to say it's been a month now. Wow, it's fast. Like, yeah, it's been a month since we've been able to bring back MT, which we're very, very happy to do. I know that not a lot of firms in the prop space were able to kind of get that back online. Maybe we'll start to see that, but we're very happy to be able to have a deal that allows our traders to get back on the MT platform. That was definitely high in demand, and I think a lot of our traders are happy about that. Yeah, we have our crypto funded accounts launch coming up, so always on the development side, whether it's new platforms, whether it's, you know, improving the trading environment, whether that's a new product, like for example our, you know, crypto funded accounts. I do have some details on that side for those of you guys that are trading crypto. We finalized the list of pairs that we're going to launch with, and we're going to launch with about 30 to 35 pairs of cryptocurrencies for all of our traders to trade. Now, these are all native liquidity native to crypto, right? So a little bit about like kind of what the back end of building that product has looked like. Number one, crypto has different market makers, different liquidity providers. So we've had to go and find that to be able to bring that environment to the prop space. And now that side's pretty much done. You know, we also have to contend with staying on the right side of regulation, right? Because crypto is an unregulated space, props an unregulated space. You know, is regulation coming? Who knows? I don't know. But we would rather be on the right side of things than try to push things too far and be on the wrong side. And the main consideration we've had with regards to what cryptocurrencies were bringing to the prop space, the main thing has been whether or not currencies can be considered securities, or how likely they are going to be considered securities, because our tech provider partner is a US based company. Hydra Funding is registered in the US, right? So even though the space is not necessarily regulated, we would like to be on the right side of that if and when it does come. So anytime we launch something, anytime we develop a product, anytime we bring something to market, that's always something that we take into consideration. So with the crypto space, the way it's been, we'd rather be more careful than try to launch with a bunch of different tokens with no regard whatsoever for potential regulatory headwinds. So we're launching with a smaller list. It's not tiny. It's like 30 something cryptos. And those that we are launching with are less likely, not impossible, but we've done some analysis, and these are the ones that are less likely to be considered securities by the SEC based on how they were launched and how the companies are run. So we're going with the safest, as with everything that we do. For those of you guys that have seen me on this stream for a while, that since the beginning we've prioritized number one, risk management, number two, staying on the right side of regulation, and being as safe as we possibly can, because we're not in it for the short term. We're interested in being around for the long haul. And the further we kind of set our sights down the road, the more we plan for the long term, the better I think our future is going to be. And that's something that we always keep in mind. So whether it's launching a new product, a platform, whatever it is, especially coming up with the crypto product, that's 100%. The first thing on my mind is, how do we manage risk? And number two, how do we navigate the space, the combined space of prop and crypto, which are both somewhat gray areas right now. So yeah, we're taking the safest route possible, and as always, planning for longevity. So those are the interesting things that are coming up. We have a giveaway. I think it's still ongoing. Yeah, it's the 7th. So it's still ongoing till the 11th. So if you guys go to the Hydra Funding Twitter account, you'll be able to see that we're running a Gleam contest. We're actually going to give away 3 100K crypto challenges when the product goes live. And you have until the 11th to sign up. Just put in your email, and there's a couple things you can do on the Gleam contest. You can either repost, I think a couple of things. I don't remember exactly what. But you can participate, get a chance to win yourself a crypto 100K crypto challenge. So that's probably all going to go live. Current timeline for going live with the product is final week of August. So we're coming up on that now. I'm pretty confident we'll be able to bring the product to all of you guys end of the month. And I think we're all very excited here. The team's been working very, very hard the last couple of months to be able to make this happen. And I think actually Hydra is going to be one of the first, if not the first, prop firm that has both a native Forex CFD side as well as a native liquidity crypto trading side. I know there's firms that run on either side. We're I think the first that are going to be doing both markets with native liquidity. So that's something we're very proud of and very excited to bring to all of our clients.
Nice. That's very, very cool, Diwa. I think, and obviously Cam being, pod owner with you is he's big into the crypto space. So that's going to be really, really cool, right, for himself. Obviously, he's got a big backing in that side. So, okay, cool. Let's also chat about which is going on at the moment. You can still get accounts. I'm still need to get my account before the 11th of August. But basically, I did send out an email to everyone on ASFX TV and on the email list. You guys should have got this yesterday with regards to the competition. So what are we doing over here with the guys over at Hydra is essentially, if you purchase any size account with Hydra Funding, any account, 1-step, 2-step, whatever you want, with the code ASFX, you'll also get 10% off of that. You'll obviously put your name down in a private competition, right? Where from the 12th to 18th, you'll get an email if you have purchased with the code ASFX. Get an email to register for the competition. And then from the 19th to the 31st of August, we will have the competition where First place prize will get, with the highest percentage, will get 50K account, and then the second place prize will get a 25K account. But we're looking quite, I'm quite excited for this because this is the first private competition that you guys have run. You've run private or competitions with your whole, everyone, but this is the first private one, right?
Yep. And I as of right now, I think there are actually less than 10 people that have signed up using the code ASFX. So if you sign up, you have a pretty good chance of getting part of the prize pool. Like that was the whole idea with this. It's like to keep this competition with as smaller number of contestants as we possibly can, and give you guys a higher chance to win. We're not pushing this to our clients. We're not shouting it. We haven't announced this anywhere. This is really kind of built for people who follow ASFX, who follow yourself, and really doing something for the audience. So this is your chance. Like, try it on an account, buy an account any size, and potentially snowball that up to a 50K or 25K challenge.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reward pool, right? 50K and 25K. And again, I'm going to be involved in the competition too, which is going to be cool. I think it's going to be quite fun because it's also like even if you don't win, it's still like an internal competition between everyone. It's, for bragging rights as well. And also, again, you get even if you don't win, you still get a 10% off, which you guys very rarely do giveaways.
We almost never do. We almost never do sales.
Yeah, discounts, right? So, yeah, again, you got until the 11th of August. So we still got 4 more days of this. So Sunday will be the last day, if I'm not mistaken. It is Sunday, the 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern time will be the cutoff. So I'm looking forward to this. I mean, again, it's going to be fun to compete with all the guys over there. So I've just sent the link in the chat there. And for those watching on Twitter, the link is in my bio as well. Okay, cool. So just going back to the charts here in a bit, we will touch on some more. It is also your 2-year anniversary with Hydra as well coming up in October too. So it's been around for 2 years now, which is really, really cool. But yeah, just going back to the charts here, looking at the NASDAQ, we had a nice exit here at the opening range high. If we just go to this is the 5-minute chart. If we go down to the 2-minute chart over here, we did have that exit at the highs there. So for those that are still in the trade, I would be wary of looking to get back in for longs, particularly after the massive rally after Monday's lows. Anything that you've found in the past couple of weeks that has helped your trading, Diwa?
I've been pretty consistent. I think July was a pretty consistent month for me, and right now I'm pretty excited to be working on this like higher time frame swing trading system that like I just wanted it to be as simple as possible. So yeah, not a whole lot really. I feel like when you get to a point where you're relatively consistent with trading, a lot of it's the same thing over and over again. Like it's actually can be kind of boring because you're not like trying and experimenting a million different things. It's like, cool, I have my edge, this is what works, and I'm just here to put in my time and follow my rules and take the entries that I'm given, right? So when you get to a point where you're consistent, I feel like trading can sometimes just be like, hey, like pretty chill, pretty boring. Like a lot of times when I'm on for NY session, right, like I'll generally have an idea what things are moving, which ones are setting up, which ones are not, and then I have my alerts set. And other than that, I'm just kind of sitting here. I watch some YouTube, watch some Netflix. A lot of it's just kind of waiting around. Sometimes I'm just doing some work, replying to emails, and just waiting for my alerts to go off. And if they do, then I come back and take a look at the charts. It's a lot of like passive kind of like waiting. You're not just like staring at the charts nonstop. At least in my experience, that's kind of the progression in trading that trading has become for me. Like it used to be like a very exciting, like, ooh, like couldn't wait to get on the charts. Nowadays it's like, okay, cool, it's my time to be on. I have a routine, I know what I'm doing, and it's very calm.
Sure. We've got some question here. Maybe you can discuss this as well. How do you feel about implementing multiple profitable days by 0.5% while passing challenges and before each payout? So we can discuss that. I do see in that sense. So in terms of what the CFD space has been through, right, in terms of, as you're mentioning, the race to the bottom, right, I do see a need for kind of like a consistency, some form of rules that are going to be beneficial towards the traders and the firms in order to stay around long term. If and DY has spoken about this multiple times, but if those rules are not in the frequently asked questions and in the contract before you actually sign for the funded account or for the challenge, that's what's messed up. If you only get told afterwards, I think that the thing about Hydra, and we've spoken about this multiple times on stream, you know what you get is what you pay, right? There's no hidden rules or anything like that. The only rule that I think your guys is, you don't have a rule of you have to have X amount of 0.5% profitable days. Your rule basically where you are mitigating risk is once you basically have profit, let's say you make 10 grand's worth of profit and you decide to take, you're eligible for 80% of that and you take all of it. Well, you lose the account because you're after the first payout, your stop loss basically goes to the break-even amount, right? So essentially you are protecting yourself in that way, which I think is a fair rule, and it's openly discussed on your frequently asked questions and everything like that. But what are your thoughts on that, what Josh has just mentioned?
I mean, I personally don't really like the consistency rule, because I feel like that a little bit can hinge on how someone trades. I'm personally not a fan of it. Like I think the other day I was taking a look at one of the futures firms, because like I didn't have any idea. Like I have no idea how the futures firms works, sure. Honestly. Like I probably should, but I haven't taken a look at them in a long time. And actually Cam like bought an account. Like he was like, yo, let's just see how they work, you know, like, cause I didn't even understand how the subscription thing works. I was like, how does all this work? And like, we're taking a look at the rules and stuff. And I saw this thing of like, oh, you need, for you to withdraw a profit, you need like 5 days of $200 profit minimum. I think I saw that.
Yes, correct.
You know, so it's a little bit confusing to me, because it's like, what if I'm massively up on one day and then I have, let's say, you know, a bunch of other losing days that month, and I've, you know, let's say only had one really good day where I made, I don't know, $500-600. Does that mean I'm not able to take out the money that I've made, even if I want to or might need the cash? So like that I don't really like. And you know, like, because it's like, hey, if I have a system where, let's say, I'm going for very high risk reward, very low win rate, I could potentially have days where, you know, let's say I'm making, you know, 6% on a win, and then but I only win, you know, 1 out of every 6 trades, 1 out of every 5 trades, right? Whatever it is. That's something that I don't necessarily feel like you can predict consistency in profitability, right? Like it's you want to sit down, you want to have a winning day. Of course, everybody does. But some people have higher win rates, some people have lower win rates. Sometimes you go through tougher stretches. Sometimes it can be a little bit erratic, right? Sometimes you can have a great week with one winning day, but that one big winning day is offsetting all the others. So I don't really like that. I understand why they do it. I think that that's a way to mitigate risk. It definitely is. But I personally think that there are better ways. And that's why at Hydra, like the way that we've done it is like, hey, you know, when you make your first withdrawal, then the maximum drawdown locks in at the starting balance, right? So it's up to the trader to decide when, where. We don't have a minimum time limit for when you want to make your first withdrawal. So if you start off your funded account really hot and you make 10 grand in a day and you'd like to take 5K out, that's completely up to you. You know, like that's not something that I feel like we should have any kind of like say over, or it's necessary for us to have a say over. But what made sense to us and what makes sense to me is like, hey, when you decide to take profit, then we will do the same, right? When you mitigate risk, we mitigate risk, and that's up to you to decide when. And there's no other rules or restrictions around, you know, withdrawals. There's no like, oh, you need to have X days profitable, like this, that, consistency and the other. It's relatively straightforward, you know, with regards to our plans and our rules. And, you know, because we started off from a very safe side and we've kind of like gone the other way, right? Like we've kind of like, okay, cool. We don't need a trailing drawdown, which we used to have. So, you know, we removed that, I think, a year ago or something like that. We removed the trailing drawdown. We're like, okay, it's not necessary. So we've gone from a side of like being ultra safe and ultra strict with our rules to where I feel now is a very happy medium for us, where, our traders are happy, but at the same time, the firm's protecting itself from bad actors, protecting itself from like people that want to come in and gamble. And I feel like we're sitting at a place where, the max drawdowns on both our 1-phase, 2-phase plans are very reasonable. Profit targets are reasonable. I feel like, we're not too easy. We're not the hardest, and we're definitely not the easiest. We kind of sit in that middle ground. Yes. I think that's a happy place for us to be. And I think the thing that we have always taken pride in is just keeping things as simple and as straightforward as possible, and being as transparent as possible with all the rules, with how it works. There's no changes between your funded account versus your challenge, right? Like whatever you trade in your challenge, you're going to get the same conditions, same terms, same rules in your funded account. There's not going to be suddenly like, oh, like you can only use 40% of your margin on one position. Yeah. Which I've seen some firms implement, and some firms have implemented differing rules from when you do a challenge versus when you get a funded account, which I think is one of the worst things in the industry. I don't think that should be allowed. Like, yeah, if you're trading one thing to pass a challenge, why would you change up all the terms and conditions once someone is able to make money? It doesn't make any sense. Like you're making it easy to pass, but then making it easier to fail once someone gets funded. Yeah. I think that's garbage.
100% agreed. So we actually have, X asking also, what are DY thoughts on firm implementing equity shield? Are you closing your trade at say 2% drawdown when you have a 4% daily drawdown available? Yeah, just on my thoughts, I don't think that's right. If you have a 4% max daily drawdown, you should be able to use that, right? So yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, Ek. And
I've personally never heard that. One's new to me.
Yeah, that one is new. I haven't heard of that one personally, but again, I am I'm going to be getting the 1-step challenge with you guys, and again, that's what the competition is going to be based on, the 1-step challenge with Hydra, which is a 6% max drawdown, 5% max daily loss, 10% profit target, essentially. But obviously for the competition, there's no profit target. You trade and see what you get. So again, the link is in my bio to Hydra's website, and then you can use ASFX for a 10% discount. And even if you don't want to compete in the competition, which I think is pretty silly, you still get 10% off. So yeah. So we got Josh. Josh is saying, I'm a scalper, but it does not bother me. But I know a couple of traders who are in uproar with Top One's new update stating have to be 3 days with 0% profit to get a cash out. Interesting. Yeah, I guess, I think every firm is going to have different views on it. But 0.5% in a day is like, if you're trading like small and just wanting to get a payout, that is 3 days of 0.5%. That's 1.5%. So essentially, you have to make, what happens if you get like 0.48 and then you have to take a trade just to get over the line, you go on tilt and you lose it? It's pretty shit.
I don't like that. Like I feel like as a firm, you should have as little input on how your traders trade as possible, right? You should allow as much freedom for them as you possibly can, which is why like I have an issue with these things like the consistency rules, or needing to make a certain percent or how many trades before you are able to make take a withdrawal, or like you can only use 40% of your margin on a position, which I've seen. And like there's firms that are even failing traders for that. Like there's a lot of these things that I think really can like mess with a trader's flow, which I don't like. I don't think that any of the rules should really have an impact on how the traders look to approach the markets. Like the rules should just be straightforward. They're guidelines. There's a max daily drawdown for a reason. There's a max overall drawdown for a reason. If you're a good trader, if you're a smart trader, you can figure how to manage that yourself, right? Like that should be up to you.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. So if you just pull up my charts here again, you can maybe be looking for continued long. So got the cat in here.
Say hi.
Let's so we got just a rejection off the opening range high, and this is something that I've been working on with my own trading, and also this is from DY speaking to me as well, as trying to get to the best price possible. I've seen a lot of the guys that I work with in our mentorship group in the Black Shirt Club, but basically trying to buy here at high of day. Like, yes, it could be a breakout trade, but I think often some of the times a lot of breakout trades end up being fake outs, and you want to maybe be getting in at the better price, which is like maybe down at the lows over here, and then looking to buy the turn. Look at the price that you're getting in your 18,353 compared to 18,430, which is also almost 100-point different. I mean, if you have an 80-point stop and you can get over 1R to the top of the range here. So I think that's something that I've also taken from D1 yourself. It looks like I'm drawing dicks.
Yeah, potentially like my favorite setup is just like fake outs where like the swing lows or swing highs are getting taken out and looking to basically trade against whatever that current breakout is, because a lot of times liquidity grabs happen, and even if price doesn't want to just continue, let's say in this setup, right, like let's say these current lows are taken out over here, even if price doesn't want to continue and take out high of day again, there's a strong chance that price will do at least a little bit of a move, right? Give you some room to move your stop loss to break even. Give you some room to maybe take some partials, even if it doesn't continue running, right? Like it's very likely for us to get a reaction, because a lot of times, like when you trade breakouts, it doesn't just break out and rip nonstop. Like it can chop around, it can be a fake out. Like I hate trading breakouts, honestly. Like in fact, how I trade now is the opposite. Like I trade fake outs, which I've had much better results personally with.
I'm down 9% to my China trade, DY. But I'm actually.
I'm actually
thinking, but it's not a lot if you're not. This is not on leverage, right? This is just literally buying an index fund. So I'm actually I've been putting some more, and I really, really do like it here. I mean, we were speaking about this lots on our stream back in the past. So this is a daily time frame on Queb, this Chinese tech stocks, essentially. And off the all-time highs, I mean, we're down 301%. So it's not like I'm putting my life savings in this thing, but I'm going to put a decent chunk of coin in there, because I definitely think we can at least rise, to maybe 50. We're up at 26 at the moment. I mean, China's, particularly after we'll see what happens with the elections, American elections at the end of the year. But I really, really do like this. So we'll see what happens with
I mean, the chart is beautiful. Like it's a very, very nice chart. It looks like we're kind of bottoming out. I don't pay attention to the daily time frames when I'm looking at my long-term holdings. Like I'm mostly looking at weekly and monthly charts. And the monthly chart really looks like it's starting to bottom out. Obviously the monthly chart takes forever. Every candle is a month, but I really do see this, my time frames for like the KWEB stuff, like MCHI, which is China's biggest companies. I hold some BNDW, VT. Like these are like my pretty much I'm not going to sell type of, it's more like positional trading. If I do see like some massive blow off top, of course I'm going to start taking some profits, but I'm expecting to, be DCAing into this stuff for the next couple of months, and if it starts running, then I stop. Because like I know that sometimes in investing, a lot of like DCAing is preached, right? Like it's just like, oh, every month you put a certain amount of money, but I'm a trader. Like I know how to buy low and sell high. Why would I just blindly dump money into the market every day? It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
I mean,
there's times when I allocate, there's times when I'm just not. That's it.
Yeah. I'm just having a look at, I mean, Intel was down like 30%. This is an American tech brand that's been around tech stock that's been around since a while. But I mean, on the earnings, this is down 33%, taking a little bit of a dump. I was actually looking to buy it as we were getting this breakout here in beginning of July. Luckily, I did not. But I did take a little bit of a lick on PayPal. I was buying it at 68. So I took about a 10% loss on that. But that was earlier. It's a daily time frame. I was looking to buy.
So what do you do with these individual stocks? Like, are you buying and holding, or is there a point at which you're like, okay, I'm out. Like, I don't want to be holding this anymore. Like, how are you managing these positions?
Yeah, well, so every single morning, actually, I have while I'm making content and growing my personal brand and on Twitter, maybe posting on Twitter and planning my day before the trading session in the afternoon, because obviously New York stock market opens afternoon my time, South African time. And managing my portfolio as well. So I'm maybe buying more into the S&P 500 index or the Chinese index, and I'm also do whole, like I'll decide to buy individual stocks as well, and then I'll manage them. I'll see, okay, where we at? Okay, how am I down? What is looking at? But I'll make a decision once a day. So I'm managing the position only in the morning, and then again if I need to close out in the evening. So I know, okay, because obviously the market won't be open in the morning my time. I'll be like, okay, I want to close some Tesla later on this evening. for a gain or so. But managing them once per day, and just going off what the chart's telling me. Right, I like you, particularly on the higher time frames like the hourly or the daily chart. I do like to use like an 8 and 21 EMA cross. For momentum. Pretty simple stuff. And then I do look at, I've watched a lot of Mark Minervini's teachings as well. You know, Mark Minervini, for those that don't know him, it's one of the greatest stock traders of our generation. He's won the US Investing Championship back in 1998 and again in 2021. I know Ak will know him and stuff. So I watch a lot of his stuff as well, and go through some of the financials and look for some more stocks as well. Then also I will look at GameStop and placing some DGen trades as well. So it's a bit of a all over the place, like in term. But I like buying individual stocks, and I mean this year on my stock portfolio, I'm up about 45%. So I do really enjoy it. And it also I get to offset some risk. I'll have like a stock portfolio that's only for index funds, and I'll have another one that's only for individual stocks. Because obviously you're going to take a lot more risk when you're buying only Tesla and Nvidia. If they both go down like they did on Monday, you obviously going to take a little bit of a lick, which I did. I still had a little piece of that position in Tesla that I was long in, and I did take a little bit. I mean, I gave back profits. I was up quite nicely, and it's part of the game. It's never, I always tell myself it's not going to be the last time. So learn how you can learn from this and lose less money next time, because you're never going to be, it's never going to be the last time that we, as an intraday trader or even a stock trader, take a lick. It's going to happen.
So yeah, it's part of the game. It's absolutely 100%. Part of the game. The sooner you learn that that's part of the game and you get over the being emotional and that aspect of it, the sooner you can get those things under control, the sooner you're going to turn profitable.
Agreed. I would be looking, so we're going to end up the stream here in a bit, but we always appreciate DOR for coming on. So DOR, just to recap, we've got just a quick one. I am looking to at longs on the NASDAQ here off the low. So anyone that's still trading, have a look at the longs here off the opening range low. So it's the same price that we bought in at about an hour ago. But yeah, just to recap, we do have the crypto platform fund firm coming out with you guys with Hydra funding. And then we also do have my competition, which you can get a discount off with ASFX. The link is in my bio too for the private competition. So yeah, we'll see. We've got 4 more days left. If we can get to about, like, as you mentioned, there's only 10 traders that, or just under 10 traders that have bought right now. If we can get that in the 15, 20, you got basically a good chance of winning one of the or two of those top spots. And I think it'll be quite cool. So yeah, appreciate you being on as always, Diwa.
Cool, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll catch you next week, brother.
Yeah. 100%. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, same time. And I think it's been a good stream. We've got some insights from you from the back end stuff on firms, and then as well as your trading methodologies and thoughts on the markets. And we also had a winning trade on stream. So I think it's been a productive Wednesday.
Great session.
Yeah. Perfect. We'll have a good sleep. I know it's late there, your time. You look like you're in the music booth about to record a hit single. But we'll check you then next week, same time, bro. But I won't lie, that is a sick background. I definitely are those lights in the background on your curtain.
It's a light. It's LED light.
Yeah, I just got a bookshelf. I try and make myself look smart. I got my degree in the background. I got to flex it sometimes. I didn't go through all that studying for nothing.
All right, brother. I'll catch you later.
Perfect. DY, cheers. Appreciate your time as always, bro. Cheers. Okay, cool, guys. So that was DY from Hydra Funding. So a really, really good stream today, guys, and appreciate DY being on as always. So yeah, don't miss the London. Don't you, Josh says, don't you miss the London session streams? Hey, the London session streams. We need to shave your head to join his brand, Josh. Just kidding, JP. Yeah, you need personal brand. Send them all. We are interested. We definitely need to. You have to be bold to join my personal brand, Josh. But yeah, no, the bold trader. No, so it's been a good day today. Let's just go over it. If I just bring up my charts again, so like that. So up about $500 on the day, 488, 4 out of 4. So really, really solid work, and we'll look to take it forward. This is been a solid trading day, but just sticking to the basics well. So appreciate everyone being on. We'll see you on the next stream on Friday. And then don't forget about that ASFX private competition. I definitely think you guys are going to enjoy it. So cheers, everyone. Have a good rest of the day.